World leaders react to the largest Russian strikes on Ukraine since the beginning of the war today. News 18's Perry Apostolakos spoke with a Purdue political science professor to hear his take on the conflict, and she's in studio now with more on that conversation. Perry?
That's right, Jeff. Associate Professor Kyle Haynes specializes in international security, U.S. foreign policy, and great power politics, among other areas of expertise. I spoke with him while Ukrainian President Zelensky pleaded with world leaders for more aid after the largest Russian strike on Ukraine since the start of the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky spent part of Tuesday thanking world leaders for their support of the war effort and asking for more assistance. Purdue University Political Science professor Kyle Haynes says this meeting of G7 leaders likely will not have significant impacts policy-wise, but the show of solidarity is helpful for Ukraine's cause.
I think Putin's idea is that he'll be able to outlast the rest of the world here. And I think that these types of symbolic demonstrations of unity and resolve help to show that's not going to work.
As the war continues, Russia claims it will use nuclear weapons only as a defense, but Haynes doesn't know if they will be used at all.
There are these sort of opportunities where Putin might have incentives to escalate potentially to the use of nuclear weapons, but as these moments pass, right, it becomes harder and harder to threaten to use them credibly.
And the weather is only getting colder on the battlefields.
In the fall and through the winter and into the early spring, there's probably not going to be a ton of movement in terms of the front lines of the war.
Now, nobody knows for sure, but I just had to ask, when will it end? What is a plausible conclusion of this conflict?
It's very much unclear what ending this war will look like. By annexing Ukrainian territory, Putin has basically tied his hands. He cannot agree to a peaceful settlement where Russia doesn't end up with this territory. The most likely outcome is, it'll require fighting until the front lines kind of stabilize. It'll require fighting until there's basically a stalemate. And I think it's more likely than not that, that kind of stalemate will just lead to what's basically called a frozen conflict.
Haynes predicts this war on Ukraine isn't the last time that the world will see real violence in this region. Reporting in studio today, I'm Perry Apostolakos, News 18.